Okay, so we got a Battlefield 4 Team Deathmatch game here. When I upload a Battlefield 4 gameplay, it's always Team Deathmatch, but to be honest with you, the reason I do it is because it's so much easier to sort of filter down into segments so that I capture I suppose, the most exciting parts, or the parts where essentially the action is. Now, I do play some Conquest and things like that, but the reason I don't upload it is because it's just so long, and I'm unfortunately one of these people who's quite pressed for time throughout the day and throughout my life. So in order to sit down and do a commentary over a Conquest gameplay, first of all I have to filter out all the best moments and sort of cut out all the running parts or the parts where nothing's really happening, and then put a commentary with it. And by the time I've sat there and got through all the best bits, put them all together, my eyes are spinning that much and I'm that tired and exhausted from looking at the screen, I can't even think about doing a commentary. So I'll put it to one side, go away, and then eventually when I come back and compose myself, the moment's sort of passed and I don't end up doing it. So Team Deathmatch is a little bit more easier to, to sort of commentate over. Now, I'm using the AK-12. I find more of the newer users using it, and then they obviously progress further and find they like better guns like the AUG and, various other guns like that. But for me, I like to stay with this one. It doesn't bother me too much that it's the first assault rifle you use. Now, that aside, going on the gameplay, I actually ended this game, and when you're getting your medals and your awards and your badges at the end, and it sort of tells you in the division of what you what you achieved and where you are. I think at the end of this one I was in somewhere in the region of Division 2 or Division 3 the world as far as my score went, and it said like a personal best or something. Now, to be honest with you, I've actually got more kills than I did in this game. I think I got 32 or 34 kills in this game, which isn't too bad for a team deathmatch game. If I play Call of Duty and upload a game with a 30 plus, I'm quite proud of that, but 9 times out of 10 most of the time it's the kill streaks that have actually helped me acquire that many kills, and it's not really cheating, but in a certain sort of sense you're getting a helping hand, whereas in this it's gun on gun, and it's harder to get. But the main reason why I was more proud of this gameplay is because yet again, I am the only medic on my team who is running a set of defibrillators. Now, I've spoke about this before with complete distaste, mentioning how it frustrates me that I seem to be the only one who revives people and brings them back to life and throws them a medipack down in order so that they get their health back up to 100% and get them back into battle. And last time I did talk about this, people were in the comment section saying, well, the reason most people don't run defibrillators and other things is because, unlike Battlefield 3 where the defibrillators were very quick and you just simply, I remember being in a room and there was a grenade come through and blew literally everybody up and injured myself, and I think there was about 6 guys went down, and I pulled out my defibs and revived everybody back up to 100% health in about 3 seconds or something ridiculous like that. So yeah, they were quite overpowered in Battlefield 3, and it made it harder to sort of sustain, especially in Team Deathmatch, sustain that win, and the games just went on forever. However, in Battlefield 4, like people have mentioned to me, that the sort of thing they're saying is the reason people don't use them is because they take longer to charge up. So it's not like Battlefield 3 where you just walk over somebody, click a revival, bang, they're up back into action with full health. You now have to charge them up, and the charge time is quite slow. If you want to, how they're doing the sort of hospital programs where they're rubbing them together and then boom, stand back, everybody. It's like that, but you seem to walk very slowly. You can't really run up to anybody. So if you're taking some refuge, taking a bit of cover from enemy fire, and you see one of your teammates go down, you can't really run out and just quickly charge him and then get back in. You have to sort of walk towards him very slowly, charging them up, and then bang. And sometimes as well, it doesn't always work. I don't know why, but it's like the defibrillators don't connect, so you have to do it again, and by that time you've ended up getting killed, he's ended up getting shot again, and it's just a complete waste of time. So from that sense, I do understand why not many people run defibrillators, but one of the most frustrating things what somebody did mention in the comment section was that the main reason why people don't run defibrillators is because you don't get as many points like you did in Battlefield 3. I think you get about 100 points each revival, whereas in this you only get however much you charge them up by. So if you give them a full charge, bang it straight on them, you get a full 100%, whereas otherwise it's about 10 points, 20 points, I don't know. Now obviously the way I do things is I generally don't charge them up. If I've got time I will, but what I tend to do is just give them a quick bang straight to the chest and then drop a medipack on their head and run for cover while I get my gun back out and hope for the best. And that seems to be quite effective. But for people to sort of really not use them because it's not really worth their while, as far as points are concerned. I think that's really selfish, and it surprises me how much the Battlefield community has changed. You know, one of the things I've always bigged up about the Battlefield community, apart from the criticisms where, you know, the Battlefield community annoy me in a lot of respects with, you know, when you talk about something in the game that might frustrate you and they get on their high horse and defend it to the hilt and say, no, it's worthwhile, you're wrong, you're just wrong. One of the things I do really big up about the Battlefield community is the fact that in Battlefield 3 people were very much team players. It's like, you know, when you start off a game of Conquest and you spawn where the you know, where the normal sort of artillery trucks would be and the helicopters, and there's nothing there, and you find yourself having to run on foot because there's no other spawn to, you know, sort of start by. And then all of a sudden you can hear somebody booming up behind you in a nice little tank, and you think, good, a lift. And you turn around and sort of wait for him to stop, and he just drives past you. It's like, whatever happened to that sort of camaraderie where people would step in, they would give you a lift, a helicopter would drop down and let you jump on board? That doesn't seem to happen anymore. And I don't know if it's because the Call of Duty community play Battlefield more, because, you know, COD players are quite selfish in that respect. They look after themselves. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason. I'm not altogether too sure. But I wouldn't have thought it would have been down to a points thing if it wasn't down to the, you know, the Call of Duty community infiltrating Battlefield. If that is the case, then shame on you. Learn from this gameplay. Reviving people is good. It gets you the win. There is no I in team. Thanks for watching, guys. Apocalypse done.